Here for the purpose of learning cloud data engineering. If you see here, we are having words called as a cloud, and we are having one more word called as a data, and we are having one more word called as a engineering. If you want to understanding GCP cloud data engineering or Azure cloud data engineering or AWS cloud data engineering, first we need to understand what is cloud, what is data, and what is the engineering. First we'll try to understand all these things one by one. With that, we'll try to understand other remaining topics as part of our today's session. We'll go one by one. First, we'll try to understand what is data. So simply we can able to say data is nothing but collection of raw material in unorganized format. In the simple words, we can able to say data is nothing but collection of raw material in unorganized format. For example, see here, I am giving some content to you like this. This is the content I am giving to you. Now you try to give the answer. What is the meaning of this content? 101, 102, 103. I am giving the some numbers like this. What is the meaning of these numbers? Some people can able to predict. Might be this is customer ID. Some people might be can able to think that this is the employee ID. Or some people can able to think that this is the transaction ID. But if I am giving this kind of content, by using this content, you cannot able to understand whether this data belongs to customer ID or employee ID or transaction ID. In the same way, for example, just I'm given the name like this, Ganga. By using this, you cannot able to understand whether it is a customer name or employee name or river name. You cannot able to understand directly what is the meaning of this content, because directly I'm giving some kind of numbers or directly I'm giving some kind of name. By using this directly, you cannot able to understand what is the meaning of this content. Now, for example, instead of giving the content like this, now I'm giving, for example, cust underscore ID. I am giving all the values. Then I'm giving cust underscore name. Then I'm giving name is nothing but, for example, Ganga. Now you tell me what is the meaning of all these values. Now easily you can able to say all these values are belongs to customer ID and this value belongs to customer name, because I am given the clear input to you, customer ID, all these values, customer name, all these values. With that, I am given the clear values as part of my data here. Indirectly, if you observe here, in this example, by using this data, you cannot able to understand what is the meaning of this content. Such kind of raw data, we can able to call it as nothing but data. But in this example, I am clearly saying that these values are belongs to the customer ID. These values are belongs to the customer name. Indirectly here, I am giving some kind of meaningful content. This kind of meaningful content, simply we can able to call it as nothing but information. So we can able to give the statement like this. Whenever you are getting data in organized format or in meaningful format, such kind of data we can call it as information. Whenever you are going to get the data in the understandable format or in the meaningful format or in the organized format, such kind of data actually we can able to call it as a information. But if you are getting the data in the raw format or if you are getting the data in the unorganized format, such kind of content simply we can able to call it as a data. This is the way you can able to understand what is data and we can able to understand what is information. But if you see here, so far, for our easy understanding, I am giving the generic example to understand what is data and what is information. Now what we'll do here is, we'll take one real-time example. So far I am giving some generic example for our easy understanding, but now we'll take one real-time example. By using real-time example, we'll try to understand what is data and we'll try to understand what is information. Now see, for example, we are having Citibank organization. Now this Citibank is having, for example, total 1,000 branches across India. Now out of these 1,000 branches, for example, they want to close 100 branches to reduce cost burden of the organization. To reduce cost burden of the organization, out of these 1,000 branches, for example, they want to close 100 branches based on their requirement. In general, who will take this kind of decisions in the real time? Who will decide I want to close 100 branches? Who will decide I want to close 200 branches? In real time, we are having business people, or we are having high level management, or we are having CEOs. Those people are going to take this kind of decision as part of our real-time companies, or in the Citibank organization. These people are going to take this kind of decision indirectly as part of our requirement. As a CEO, as a manager, or as a business people, they want to take the decision. What is the decision they want to take? Out of these 1,000 branches, they want to close 100 branches. Now question is, which branch they need to close? Any guesses on what basis they will decide which branch they want to close? In general, on what basis they will decide which branch they need to close as per their requirement? Simple thing. They will try to understand from each and every branch what is total turnover they are getting, or from each and every branch they are trying to understand what is the total profit or loss they are getting. Once they are having this kind of content, with that what they can do here, simply they can able to perform analysis. By doing analysis, they can able to take the decision. They will not take the blind decisions, close Hyderabad branch, close Secunderabad branch, close the Vizag branch. They will not take the decisions blindly. For the purpose of taking this kind of decisions, first what they need to do here, compulsory, they need to perform some analysis. Based on what they are going to perform the analysis from each and every branch, they are trying to understand what is the total turnover. For example, from every branch, they are trying to understand what is the total turnover. Based on the total turnover, they are going to perform the analysis. Then they are going to take the decisions as part of this real-time example. But question is, from where they can able to get this total turnover? Any guesses? As a CEO, as a manager, as a business people, from where they can able to get the total turnover of each and every branch? Any guesses? Please be interactive. With that, what will happen is, without having any kind of bore feeling, easily you can able to understand whatever we are discussing. That is the reason my sincere request, please be interactive. With that, you will get lot of interest whatever we are going to cover as part of our next 40 minutes from the technical perspective. Any guesses? From where they are going to get the total turnover?
Main branch.
Okay, from the main branch. Someone is saying main branch. Some people are saying that databases. Any other answers?
They can assign some technical people like a data analyst or data.
They can able to assign some kind of people, data analyst people, or they can able to assign the reports. Okay. Now see here, indirectly I can able to say all these are the kind of the correct answers. For example, you are getting the total turnover from the database, or you are getting total turnover from the reports, or you are getting the data from the data analyst. But again the question, if you want to get the data into databases, or if you want to get the data into the reports, again from where they are getting all the data? From database, you can able to get total turnover, for example. But if you want to get the data from the database, someone need to load the data into database, right? From where we are getting such kind of data? Indirectly, my question is, what is the origin point from we are getting the data? Very simple statement. Here we can able to say that in every branch, so many transactions are going to happen. What is going to happen? In Hyderabad branch, some transactions are going to happen. In Vizag branch, some transactions are going to happen. In Secunderabad branch, some transactions are going to happen. But who will handle all these kind of transactions? Generally in the banking sector, we can able to see multiple departments. And we can able to see departments like this. We can able to see savings department. We can able to see loans department. We can able to see credit card department, and we can able to see, for example, demat department. So like this, we can able to see different types of departments in the banking sector. Now, what each and every department will do here? They are going to handle different transactions. For example, you are the customer. You want to deposit the money. You are going to the Secunderabad branch. What you will do first? You are going to take a form, you are going to fill the form, you will give the form to the bank employee, they will take that form, they will take the money from you, they will deposit the money. After that, they will give in the acknowledgement receipt to you. This whole operation we can able to call it as a transaction. But who is handling this entire transaction? We are having savings department employee. They are going to handle all such kind of transactions in the banking sector. In the same manner, you want to take the personal loan or car loan or home loan, or you want to clear the personal loan, or you want to pay the EMI for your loan. All these operations are going to handle by your loans department. Indirectly, we can able to say loans department is going to handle some transaction. Credit card department will handle some transaction. Demat department also will handle all that some transaction. Like that, in the banking sector, in every branch, we are having different department. Every department is going to perform different kind of transactions as part of our banking sector. But again, the question, after completion of this transaction, what savings department employee will do here? For example, as I told you some time back, you are the customer, you went to the bank, you filled the form, you given the form to the savings department employee, they taken the form, they deposited the money, they given the acknowledgement to you. That whole operation, we are calling it as a transaction. Now, after completion of the transaction, what is the next step they are going to perform as a savings department employee? Any guesses? Very simple. What they are going to do here is they are going to store each and every transaction. What is the reason? Every day, thousands of the customers are coming to the bank or hundreds of customers are coming to the bank. Now, this employee cannot able to remember all the customer transaction details within their brain. For that reason, compulsory what they need to do here, after completion of each and every transaction, definitely they are going to store the transaction. And loans department, they are going to store the transaction. Credit card department, they are going to store the transaction. Demat department, again they are going to store the transaction. Like that, every department after completion of the transaction, they are going to store all the transactions. But where they are going to store the transactions? For example, savings department storing all the transactions in the test file. Loans department, for example, they are storing all the transactions in the JSON file. Credit card department, they are storing all the transactions in the XML file. Demat department, for example, they are storing all the transactions in the database table. For example, every department storing the data in the different locations by depending on their requirement. Now, after completion of all these transactions, now my requirement is I want to get total turnover. What is the meaning of total turnover here? Indirectly, I want to perform total of saving transactions plus loans transactions plus I want to perform credit card transactions and I want to sum up it demat transaction. Okay, indirectly we need to perform all the summing operation between all these transactions. With that, you can able to get the total turnover. For example, see, savings department, they are having 2 crore transactions. Loans department, for example, 5 crore transaction. Credit card department, for example, 8 crore transaction. Demat department, for example, 6 crore transaction. Like this, they are having different transactions for every department. Now, if you want to get the total turnover, indirectly we need to perform summing operation between 2 crores, 5 crores, 8 crores, and 6 crores. This is the way we need to perform summing operation. With that, you can able to get output is nothing but total 21 crore transaction on top happen on top of a particular branch. But tell me, for the purpose of doing this operation, we need to get the data from all these departments. Now, in between all these departments, we are having the data in text file format and JSON format and XML file format and database tables. Now, question here is, if we are having data like this, if we are having data in different formats, can we able to perform summing operation? Any guesses, anyone? Here I want to perform summing operation, but some data is in the text file, some data in the JSON file, some data in the XML file, some data in the database table. Can we able to perform summing operation between all these files directly?
No.
Obviously, I can able to say answer is no. Why reasoning? What is the reason? Simple reason, because you are having all the data in the different format. That is the reason you cannot able to perform the summing operation. Now tell me, without doing the summing operation, can we able to get total turnover? without doing summing operation, can we able to get the total turnover here?
No.
Again, I can able to say answer is no. Now, without getting the total turnover, can I able to perform analysis?
No.
Without getting total turnover, can I able to perform analysis? Again, answer is nothing but no. Now, without doing analysis, can I able to take the decision?